Insurance is where I see buyers coming from up north get blindsided down here. Not because Florida insurance is impossible, it isn't, but because it works differently than what you're used to, and the differences are the kind that don't show up until you need the policy. Let's go through what actually matters. First, the news, because a lot of what you've read is out of date. For years, Florida insurance was a genuine crisis. Carriers went insolvent, others pulled out, premiums went up 30 and 40% a year, and everybody ended up on Citizens, the state's insurer of last resort. That has changed. After the litigation reforms, new carriers came back into the state, reinsurance got cheaper, and rates started coming down. Citizens has cut rates, with bigger cuts in South Florida than statewide, and its policy count has dropped dramatically from its peak as private carriers took policies back. Florida is still the most expensive state in the country for homeowners insurance. That part is real, but the market has been softening, and if the article you read was written in 2023, it's describing a different world. Second, and this is the biggest one nobody warns you about, your hurricane deductible is not a flat dollar amount. It's a percentage of your dwelling coverage. Up north, you're used to a deductible measured in hundreds or maybe a couple $1,000s. Down here, hurricane deductibles are commonly 2, 5, even 10% of what the home is insured for. Do that math on a $700,000 dwelling limit and it's a serious number. That's the check you write before the insurance company writes theirs. If you don't have that sitting in savings, you don't really have coverage, you have a policy. Ask what the hurricane deductible percentage is. Every time. It's the single most important number in the document. Third, flood is always a separate policy. Always. Your homeowner's policy does not cover flood. Not in Florida, not in New York, not in New Jersey, not anywhere. But in a lot of northern markets, people never had to think about it. Down here, you do. And here's the part that catches people. Being outside a high-risk flood zone doesn't mean you're outside flood risk. It means your lender may not require the policy. Those aren't the same thing. Plenty of Southeast Florida properties that flood are in zones where nobody was required to carry it. If a golf community sits on reclaimed land, near canals, or near water features, and most of them do, ask about flood specifically. Fourth, it's the roof. More than almost anything else, roof age drives whether you can get covered and what you'll pay. Carriers have strict rules about it, and an older roof can mean higher premiums, limited coverage on the roof itself, or a carrier declining outright. So when you're looking at a home, ask how old the roof is and whether there's documentation. On a home that's 15 or 20 years past its last roof, that's not a maintenance item you deal with later. That's an insurance conversation you have before you make an offer. Fifth, the seller's premium is not your premium. I hear this constantly. The seller says they only pay X. Maybe they do. They may also be on a policy that's been in place for years, or one that doesn't reflect current pricing, or one you can't assume. You need a quote on that specific address in your name with your coverage. Get it during your inspection period while you still have a contingency, not after. Sixth, the practical one that saves real money, get a wind mitigation inspection. Florida gives credits for things that make a home more hurricane resistant. Roof shape, roof-to-wall attachments, impact windows, shutters. Those credits can cut a meaningful chunk off the wind portion of your premium. A lot of buyers never do the inspection and just pay the higher rate. It's inexpensive and it can pay for itself immediately. And work with an independent agent who can shop multiple carriers. With new companies back in the market, the spread between quotes on the same house can be substantial. None of this should scare you. It's just a different system, and the buyers who get hurt are the ones who assume it works like home. Get the quote early, ask about the deductible percentage, and treat flood as its own decision. I'm Will Esslinger. Southeast Florida golf communities are what I do.